What's up, guys? It's Dirty from Dirty Boys. Today we have the face of the channel,
Andy.
Andy the Gawd Willhite.
You already know.
All right, what'd you do today, Andy?
I topped the locals with Striker.
Best deck?
Best deck. Normal Ray. Ray is Bay.
All right.
So let's just get right into it. Main deck, I think some of this stuff should be fairly straightforward. 3 Ray, 3 Rose, because if you don't see a Striker monster, you instantly lose the game.
Yeah.
So just max out on them. I hear other arguments about Rose being less than a 3 of. They're wrong. Just make sure you play the game. And I played this package because I don't think Striker has enough inherent damage in its own core engine, and just because of the fact that DPE gives this deck another dimension of playing through boards, establishing follow-up with the Celestial Draw 2, popping airspace for additional damage output.
Yeah.
There's so many random interactions that this package just gives you that the 2 bricks are still worth it. And then just a bunch of hand traps in the monsters. There's 3 Ash, 3 Nibiru, 3 Ogre, 3 Veiler, and 3 Impermanence.
So we were always going second.
This is a going second deck.
I didn't ask, but I'm like, I'll find out.
Yeah, it's absolutely a going second deck. A lot of these hand traps should be fairly straightforward. Ash is just super generic. Veiler should always be in every Striker list as long as the Halka-Fibrax, Selene access code thing is a play. It's also just generically good in the format in general. Impermanence, more cards you can draw for turn that just break boards. I know a lot of people are against it, but drawing this for turn, turning off a Griffin Rider if you're against the Adventure engines, because I played against 3 Pranks today, so hitting that stuff is pretty good. Hitting Verte is still a part of the format because of DPE. It's still a diverse enough card to justify playing. Adventure decks are everywhere. Ogre overperformed against the Adventure decks, which was 3 out of the 4 matchups, so there you go. And Nibiru, because if you pair this up with any of the hand traps that would get rid of the Griffin, so activate Nibiru, they chain Griffin, you chain Ogre, or Nibiru plus Veiler or Impermanence, you're just making sure that this breaks the board fully and ends the game in your favor. Yep. Also, it's a body on board that you can airspace away or just use to make either Zeke to banish the token or make Verte and just make your own DPE. Spells, 3 Anchor, because best Striker spell other than Engage. 2 Shark and 2 Afterburner for Grind. This still feels like the right ratio. No Jamming Wave on account of this is more of a Monster Mash format than a back row format. I think because a lot of the Adventure decks are scaring off people from playing Skill Drain and whatnot. Yeah. My only loss of the day was to Skill Drain in Pranks, and it was well, it happens. And I just can't draw a back row hate that I sided in sometimes. The 1 Engage, broken. Hornet, multi-roll, 1 airspace because this card bricks horribly and we play tons of hand traps, so there's not a bunch of times to mulligan something off this. Booster, which I still swear by this card, mostly because you can still manipulate this to protect your Verte in the extra monster zone to make sure you get the DPE out. There's other just silly interactions where you can just play the grind because this card is in your deck, especially if you get paired against a mirror, for example. Then it's Rhoda, Called by, Upstart, and 2 Fusion Destiny.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I don't think any of this is super needing in-depth explanations. Side deck, triple Lancia.
Makes sense.
Triple Cosmic and triple Twin, because this deck is super weak to Floodgates. Just how the nature of the deck goes, especially when I'm playing Afterburners as monster removal but need spell trap removal. Droplet, because I'd rather have the hand traps in game 1 because Herald of Arclight's a thing, so, that and Shen Shen, because I played against a VW as well. This card's very, very good going second against the non-Herald of Arclight decks, which was most of them today, so it's got sided in a lot, and I just didn't draw out any of them. And this, which never got sided in because I get paired against a bunch of Pranks, so, there can be only 1 in Striker is supposed to be really good if you get paired against any other matchup in the game.
There's a lot of alties, so I'm ready for the extra deck.
Yeah, the extra deck. 3 Kagari.
Yes.
3 Shizuku.
I'm almost there. Keep going, don't stop.
2 Hayate, because there's not enough room to play 3 because of the DPE package and some other stuff. The 1 Kana and the 1 Zeke. The standard 10 Striker links that you'll see in the DPE variant of the deck. And then the other 5 is Hulk, Selene access code for the final game push. Pretty straightforward. That's part of why we play the Veilers, and then just Verte Dragoon. Or Verte DPE, excuse me.
Verte Dragoon. You're used to the Phantom Knights profiles?
I am used to that too. So,
right.
yeah.
Any shout-outs?
Shout-outs, Dirty Yuki and the Boys. Shout out Starlight Games, because I've kind of borrowed some of the theory for the deck from Lucas and Ben, because I don't think a lot of them were on the DPE engine, but they were mostly on like the same hand trap ratios, except I think they might have been like 18 instead of the DPE package, but
There.
yeah, pretty similar decks, pretty similar logic. It performed way better than expected. I'd continue playing this deck just because I like it.
Good deal. All right, this is Ari from the Boy signing out. Have a good one.